Good morning. Let's try this again because I recorded this yesterday. Um, and for some reason it didn't take. But I think that may have been my fault. So, welcome back to my channel. Hello. How are you guys? Good morning. I'm waiting for my manager to get here. So I decided let's just do a really good short video. So I decided it was like a little small idea that came to me that I would do, videos every Monday, talking about movies that I watch, like random movies that I watch on Netflix. Kind of like a little review, movie review from like random Netflix movies. I think that'll be fun. So I'm gonna do it every Monday, and it's gonna be really cool. But today, because I didn't upload it on Monday or yesterday because it didn't take, we're gonna talk about the movie The Void. Now, have you seen it? Have you guys seen it? I actually watched it because of another YouTuber on here who watched it and did a review on it, but they said it was a good movie. I just don't remember them talking about all of the insane shit that takes place in the movie. I promise you, it was crazy. So from my point of view, it wasn't a bad movie, but it was crazy. It was a lot of like nasty, just grotesque shit that happened. And let's just go into it short for short. So in The Void, I guess you want to say like the main character, his name is Daniel, and he's like, I guess a deputy or a sheriff. Ah, these flies all over the place. So deputy or sheriff, whatever he is, he was just driving down the road and some guy stumbles out of the woods. He picks him up. He takes him to the hospital in town, which is like a really small town. And um, his wife just happens to be working there. She's a nurse there. Well, his ex-wife. Who knows? So, I obviously was not paying close attention if I can't tell you wife or ex-wife. But anyway, so he goes there to get him looked at. The doctor is there, and they're talking about how, like, the fire in the hospital is basically having to make them move. So they were in the middle, like packing up things, but they still take in patients. And there was a grandfather and his granddaughter who was pregnant, like she's a teen mom basically. So then you have like this young nurse named Kim who was hanging out with one of the patients, and you could tell she didn't take her job seriously. So I just decided she was gonna be useless because why not? And then there was a couple of other nurses there as well. Um, what happened is shit starts getting real odd in the movie. So short for short, Daniel goes outside and there's these people outside with like they kind of look like KKK members, but they have like a little triangle in their hood, and it's like, what the hell? And then they got like these knives, and I believe Daniel got stabbed when he went out to his car, so he went back into the hospital. And he's just like, oh shit, there's, crazy people out there. Ah, what the fuck? And then two more people come into the hospital who were actually in the beginning of the movie. I think he was like a farmer. And I don't know if the younger guy that was with him, who was basically like a mute, um, later discovered in the story he had like a little scar right here. Um, that must have enabled him to not be able to talk. So they get to the hospital because they want the guy that Daniel picked up. So everybody is like got their guns and shit. And then another, I think sheriff or deputy was there, Mitchell. And there's like a little standoff for a second because they want the guy, but Daniel can't let them take him because he has to question him and he has to call it in. And so all this strange shit started happening, like a sound like a horn was being blown. So, and then more of those hooded people were outside. They were just standing there, and it was so eerie. Like, what is going on? And my boyfriend was like, "You got me watching Illuminati shit." I was like, "No, I don't know what's going on either. I'm super lost." So, and then, oh God, Daniel, I guess tries to take inventory of everybody that's in the building, and he goes into the patient that was that Kim was talking to, and one of the other nurses had like killed him. She like had a scalpel in his eye. She was pulling it out when Daniel came in, and she was cutting off like pieces of her face, talking about this isn't my real face. This isn't what I really look like. And he was like, "Oh, stop it!" And then she tried to come at Daniel with the scalpel, so he shot her. Um, and that's when everybody's like, "Oh no, what's going on?" And they're all crowding around him. He's like, "I had to do it. She was gonna come at me. She was gonna stab me." And the doctor was like, "Okay, everybody, let's go out here." And this bitch, her body turns into a fucking big ass flesh monster thing, and it's just, oh god, it was so nasty. And it gets Mitchell, and it like the little tinsels and vines or whatever you want to call it, like gorges him, and like fucking, ah, sorry, more flies, like goes into his eyes and goes into his mouth. Oh my god, oh, so nasty. So they like the two guys that came into the hospital afterwards look wanting the guy, because apparently he had something to do with the guy's wife or sister or somebody, um with her demise. Like, I guess he was a druggie, and they used to sacrifice people at this little drug house that he went to. He didn't know it, I guess, at the time, but yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, and they could change." I think I went a little ahead of myself. So they have to take that thing out. They shoot it and everything, and once they shoot it, like, it goes down, but then the horn blows again, I think, and like those people are still like outside. They're gonna get in. So everybody's trying to think of like a plan, like what to do. And in the midst of all this, the guy stabs the doctor. But he stabs the doctor for a reason, which I'm about to get to. So after that, all this crazy shit happens, in the melee of everything that's going on. Daniel and the two other guys decide that they need to go at the bottom of the hospital to get, I guess, the supplies needed, because the teenager is about to give birth. But in order for them to do it, they need to have anesthesia and everything. And they don't have that on hand. It's at the bottom, at the main part of the hospital, which was a part of the fire. So Daniel goes and the two guys, and they bring the other guy with them because, they can't have him out of sight. Kim looks after the young lady because Daniel's wife is like, I guess, scared too, and I think she decides she's got to go down and try to find where this stuff is as well. Her ass gets fucking taken. She gets taken, so she's out of the picture for a while. But Daniel and the guys, they totally. Hold on, let me see something here. Are they inside already? I didn't see anyone pull up. Anyway, what's going on? Anyway, so I'm just gonna wrap this up really quick. Basically, a lot of shit happens, and once they're in the lower level, that's when more of these monsters are down there. And like, the doctor's a monster too. That's why the guy stabbed him. The guy is a monster. He is a monster. So, and he has Daniel's ex-wife on the operating table. He's infected her. He's infected her with those little googly babies. And basically she's a mother to like the monster things that take over your body. So gross. This whole movie was just nasty. It kind of reminded me of Hellraiser, and especially because the doctor is like this meaty, like wet body looking dude. And oh god, basically they just take over people's bodies, and you have to become, I guess, not in of your flesh anymore. It really reminded me of Hellraiser in that regard. So, oh god, I feel like I'm missing so much. So the monster is basically like something happens where they get inside your mind and alter your reality and make you think things that aren't really happening. And that's what happens to, I want to call him the farmer guy because I feel like that's what he was. And the little mute guy has to take him out because he gets, you know, he's going crazy. And the teenage girl, she actually kills her grandfather, and Kim runs away and goes and hides in like a little closet somewhere because the people, we forgot about the people, but the people with like the triangles, they get into a hospital because they're a part of all of this too. So they're like a little, it's like a little weird cult. This movie was so crazy. But Daniel ends up getting stabbed by the little pregnant teenager because she's a part of it too, and she's carrying the doctor's little baby, little meat sack thingy, and it comes out of her body. It explodes out of her body after all of that, and her body is just so much meat for the fodder, and it like attacks everybody that's left. It attacks the farmer guy, and the mute guy has to take him out because he got attacked, and because the farmer guy kind of asked him to, because he doesn't want to be a part of that shit. He doesn't want to be a part of that thing. So he has to kill him, which was like a noble act. Nice act to do. Daniel's stabbed. He essentially pushes the meat doctor into the void, which was like this like triangular, like giant triangular doorway, I guess you could say, to a parallel universe, maybe, or like space. He pushes him through that, and they just disappear through that. So that's the end of Daniel and the doctor. And then we get once the meat doctor, I want to call him, disappears into the void, everything else goes away. Like all the monsters. Well, I want to say most of them kind of disappear. But the people with the triangle, they definitely are gone. All of that is gone. The mute and Kim are the only ones left, so he leaves out from the bottom because everything's starting to shake, get crazy, and he finds Kim, and essentially that's where that part ends. But then there's a part after that where it shows Daniel and his ex-wife, who Daniel had to take out because she was part of the meat thingy, so he hacks her up in pieces. But they are standing, I want to say, in the void, and they hold hands as they watch like this, they're on a different planet, and it's like dark and gloomy and very cloudy, and they're looking up and they see this large, I want to say, like it looks like a vessel of some sort, like a triangular vessel, and you like hear like the loud horn noise again, and that's where the movie ends. So it was insane, you guys. I want to tell you, that was the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It was like a Hellraiser combined with The Thing. If you're into horror of that nature, where there is a lot of gore, you're going to see that. Then definitely it's for you. If you're not into that, please do not watch, but it's at your own risk. So that's like my first edition of this Have You Seen movie review, okay? And I'll check you guys later because I gotta go into work because it's actually my day job. So, ciao.